What's going on, everybody? Again, I apologize for the first one. I'm trying to work with my computer, and of course, it sucks. So, I hope everyone's having a good day today, wherever you're at. I want to thank you guys. Hang on one second here for checking me out, and I also want to give a special and great thanks to all my new subscribers. Um, Guys, I appreciate it more than you guys even know. It's it's just phenomenal that I'm almost at 100 subscribers for just the things I say and talk about. So I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple things actually today. One was in particular was I happened to recently seen a video with David Icke. And if you haven't checked out David Icke yet, I highly suggest you do that at some time because there's a ton of things he's got to talk about. I don't quite always agree with maybe a lot of things he says, but this one in particular today was about technology and how it works. Um, the thing that got me the most, or got me thinking, was like I was trying to explain before, Johnny Mnemonic. I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie, and if you haven't seen the movie, I highly suggest you do so. It's a wonderful movie. I mean, it's old, and it's Keanu Reeves in it. But the greatest part about the movie was that I feel there was a lot of reference and maybe even disclosure. The first thing that comes to mind about the movie was virtual reality. And the thing about virtual reality that grabs my attention is that it's the amount of electromagnetic interference that's being placed on your face. I mean, if you think about it, you're sitting there with, whether it be a phone or even you buy a system, a whole entire setup. That's a lot of electricity that's going to the front of the face there, in front of your brain. It bothers me only because I recall back in the earlier days of 2015 that there was not even 2015. I'd even say a little bit earlier. And when cell phones first came out, we started talking about the fact that there was links between, um, between brain cancer and just the overall um, effects of it. We were told not to stay on them too long, and it just when I was on Friday's show with Scarab, that was one of the things we discussed in great detail. And hopefully you guys can hear me with this. I decided to go live kind of last minute, but it freaks me out a little bit. It does, only because when you look at it, it's one of those. Are they trying to do something, not do something to us? Are they pushing this agenda for some reason? And it's just odd. It's very odd. What made me think about this even more so, besides the David Icke video, was just seeing the commercial for Oculus, this new VR set that you put on, and apparently they want you now to watch movies and then watch anything that's digital out there in the airwaves. They want to be able to connect you, but they make it sound like it's a connection or that you can get closer to people. I feel it's a little bit more of a disconnect because if you're sitting in your house on virtual reality watching this, and then you're like say at a game or any type of sporting. I don't really go to sporting events or watch sports, but they use that as an example. What's to stop you? I guess what's the disconnect? There's a disconnect because what's the point of going to a game and spending time with people if you can just plug it in this virtual reality set and sit there and talk to the same individual, but from your living room? It reminds me of the movie. With that actually reminded me of the Bruce Willis movie Surrogate, where people were using these robotic silicone bodies to go out into the world because everyone was staying in their home. Um, that was the first part. Another part in that movie with Johnny Mnemonic was there was a scene with Henry Rollins where, Keanu Reeves and him are talking, and then Henry Rollins starts yelling at everyone about, this is what causes it. This is what causes it. Technology. I wonder a lot of times with some of the things we're seeing here in this world, if it is technology that's causing it. Um, it causes me to pause a lot about what's going on. Like I was trying to explain in my earlier live stream, and again, I apologize. You guys should be able to chat, so hopefully I can see you guys. I do see I got 3 people in here. This is on my phone. Normally it pops up right there in front of me. Let me see. All right. Well, I got it on live chat now, so hopefully I can see you guys. If you guys want to at least say hi, it should be able to at least pull up here in front of me. Let me see. I'll turn this even a little bit just to rotate my device. There you are. I see you, Maria, and I see you as well, Carla. I appreciate you guys checking me out today. Hang on. I'm sorry. Stonebender, how are you, buddy? I hope y'all are doing great wherever you're at. Yeah. I appreciate that, guys. Guys, I really do appreciate you guys checking me out and coming over to my live streams. And I thank you so much for subscribing. Can you guys hear me okay, though? I'm trying a new mic out just to see how that works from the phone mic. So hopefully you guys can hear me all right. Well, what is that? Great. All right. So, I wanted to come up here and say hello to everyone and thank not only all my new subscribers. Can't bend any stone with all the snow. Yep. I want to thank all my new subscribers, and I want to thank all you guys for your support. You guys have no idea how much it means to me that I can get on here and kind of express my ideas and thoughts. You guys are listening, and just like the whole last video I did about the Kurt Allen and Superman. That one blew my mind. To get back to what I was saying about technology, though, I don't know if you guys have ever read or heard, but like I was trying to show in my other broadcast, there's apparently, I won't ever buy a Jeep or a new car. Part of the reason why I would never buy a new car is it could be hacked. There's articles out there about it, about Jeeps being hacked, and it's scary, guys. It gets to me that someone can sit on a computer, and if they want, they can find your car, hack into your car, and you can be cruising down the highway, and then all of a sudden the car goes right off into, right off a cliff or right off into a ditch. That's just, beyond freaky. Not to mention the self-driving cars. Who's to say that someone can't hack it and then decide that they want to use that car now as a weapon against a group of people, make it just run all completely nuts. It's freaky the way that we're moving into this day and age. Like I was trying to talk about earlier with the AI. I know you guys have seen it or heard by now, the first AI news broadcast in China. The first thing that came to mind with that was that movie again, Johnny Mnemonic, because there was a scene where he thought he was talking to somebody and reporting, he's trying to run from the bad guys, and he thought he was actually speaking to an individual because it was a face-to-face video conference. And then the whole time, the dude's actually sitting there like this in a little thing using his hand, and it was a puppet. And then it's just crazy to see that this technology is becoming available, that it's actually starting to exist. What prompted me to kind of talk about this more today was watching another video with David Icke where he's talking about in Europe right now, everyone's trying to microchip. And then bringing up the worries of having Wi-Fi everywhere and how it affects the brain. I kind of agree with that a little bit. As a matter of fact, I wanted to take it a little bit further, and my thought was, What if all the chemtrailing they're doing with this aluminum and barium is actually to enhance Wi-Fi features? I know I read somewhere where they were talking about they're trying to put satellites up in the air so everyone gives Wi-Fi. And now, what if that was to magnify? That, to me, bothers me. Only because there's been studies that have been proven that frequencies can affect your thought pattern. Um, you know, yeah, and I agree, Stonebetter. It was for a decade at least. Um, that's the part that blows my mind about the whole thing is that what if this is why they're doing it? Is they want control? It. I just don't get it. I'm worried about it only because I see the disconnect. I see how everything's becoming easy. I mean, have you guys heard that Alexa can actually now be used as a witness because it's constantly recording? I mean, I know my phone's definitely recording me, and my wife's phone too, because we both sit here in this spot, and she could be on her phone playing a video game. I could sit here and watch some videos on, as you guys know, I'm looking into Coral. So I'll watch some of those videos, and then within like not even a minute or two later, she might jump off there and go on to YouTube just to look over some things or look at some videos. And she's also got a selection. Not only that, Facebook's another one. She could be scrolling through her Facebook feed, and you know how you guys see the article if you go on there. Sometimes they pull it up. I know you told me that, Carla, that your ears weren't ringing until you got home. Mine, unfortunately, are all the time, and I know part of it is, I swear, it's because there's a cell tower literally like across the street from where I'm at. But to get back to what I was saying about Facebook, as she goes through it, now all of a sudden she's getting suggestion for fish tank supplies, for fish food, for, it don't matter. It's whatever maybe I might have on my speaker that her phone picks it up and now decides, oh, well, you were hearing about it, you were listening, not realizing that no, she wasn't, I was. We were just together in the same room. That to me is freaky. Um, it, it's weird now that I've seen things where not only they're using, not only are they using technology as far as like Alexa and all that for you to like turn on your TV and turn on your lights, but now you can tell the blasted thing to turn around and pop your popcorn in the microwave. You can have it turn on that, turn on and off the stove, the fridge, you name it. And I don't get it. It's one of those like, really, it's going to kill you that much to get up and, push the microwave button for popcorn, or you need to preheat your oven, so you turn that on a little bit. Who's to stop these people? Yeah, I know. I've figured out how to do that. It was just the fact, Carla, and I appreciate that it was just out of nowhere. It's just the way it came up. But to get back to what I was saying, who's gonna stop someone from hacking into your home if you got the smart homes and set up and decide to go ahead and turn your stove on for you or do something else wrong with it? I know, like even meters, the smart meters. I know they're pushing for all this connected technology, and I feel like in a way it's some sort of maybe invisible prison they're doing. I don't know. Obviously I'm just one guy sitting here doing my thing, trying to live my life. It blows my mind to see that the amount of what they call automation is taken over. I mean, even when I started studying into the fish things, now they got robots that can actually test the water, and soon they're going to be able to dose, so you don't have to worry about it. And they promote it like it's a big thing, and it's one of those. No, again, it's another step in losing, in my opinion, your humanity. Maybe into this transhumanism. I don't know. I just thought it was very odd that I've stumbled across all these things in the last few days. And it makes me wonder too, between all these weird frequencies that are going out every which way and that are coming into our bodies or going through us, if that causes maybe some of the Mandela effect, with the flip flopping. It makes me wonder, are we really seeing this information the way it looks and it's flip flopping back and forth? Or is it one way, and because of all this interference, something goes into our head to say it's another way? These are the types of things I think about when I look at just how everything's connecting with one another. How, where, between your phone, if you got one of those wristwatch things, if you've got an Alexa or what is it, Cortana or Siri, you name it. Yeah, and that, Carla, that's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, David Icke, he said something about it in his video, and I definitely highly suggest you guys check it out. But it makes sense, just the way everything's being connected. You got people now that you're just too busy to turn your stove on or turn it off. I can see the function as far as turning the stove off if you were to leave the house, but I don't see it to have the function in order to, do your everyday cooking. Same with a washer and dryer. It shows like, oh, the commercial shows someone that's too busy to turn their laundry on. Really? You can't. I mean, that's the part that I don't understand is all this new connections. I feel like they're taking away our basic functions. And of course, they're trying to, pass it off. But we're evolving. We're getting better. No, man. Really? Because we can't open doors by ourselves anymore. Apparently, we can't drive. And I know some people can't drive. But you can't, do this. It don't make sense. It doesn't to me. And hi, Dominic. I did see you. I apologize. I was in the middle of my rant. Having my drink real quick. But, I wanted to get on here and just kind of talk to you guys about that, kind of throw out my ideas, my thoughts, just about, and see what you guys thought. See how you were thinking about how things are going with the way everything's being connected together. Also, if you hadn't heard, and I know right now Scarab's been going through some things, Scarab Performance. There's a GoFundMe out there. I'm going to try to include in my link here at the end when I go into my main computer here and get everything fixed. Unfortunately, there wasn't much I could do but send my prayers. I did send him an email asking if he was okay. Try to also give him some suggestions. Because if you guys have seen when I'm talking here, I got issues too. So, I hope he gets to feeling better. I really do, because I do like his shows, especially the Friday night. If y'all hadn't caught it, the Friday night Freaky Friday, I definitely highly suggest you check him out. I know we were on there for a while, him and I, talking about a lot of things and just some of my ideas. And one of them was about this whole idea with the technology. It just, like I said, it got to me that when there was years back, we were discussing about the phones, don't keep it up to your head too long, because if so, you're going to end up with a tumor or it's going to cause problems. And now, it just seems like now it's like, oh yeah, it's okay. Go ahead, take your phone, put it on your face. Keep it on there forever. Especially right here. That's just nuts for me. But, it's one of those things that I guess I'm just trying to understand it. I'm trying to see what is going on with this. Why are we going this way? I mean, really, are we that busy in a day with one that we can't do our simple functions anymore? Or is it just because it's cool? Do we think it's just, oh, wow, it's nice, it's neat? I think some things are neat, but in the grand scheme of things, I think about how things can be manipulated, how they could be you know, turned into another thing entirely. Especially with the whole now Alexa being able to be used in a court of law because it's recording you. That's just nuts. And if you haven't checked it out, Google that because it's crazy to see some of the things that are taking place. Um, you know, there was no format or rhyme or reason to it. I just kind of wanted to get on there and talk. I know I hadn't done a live stream in a while, and of course, I was trying some different ways to do it. I was really trying. I wanted to be able to do it like Lone and some of the other channels, and share some articles on that I was seeing, but it just what my system wasn't having it today. Um, right on, Dominic. I'm glad, man, and I'm glad. And then, by the way, and I thank you all for being here and for checking me out. Yeah. Hello, Rainbow Warrior, and I agree that could be the case. I have seen some YouTubers promoting the 5G lights, the bulbs to put in. They've held it up like, oh, it's a great light, and when you look at it, it's got air vents. And to me, it's like, why does a light bulb need air vents unless there's more going on inside the light bulb? I've seen a few of these YouTubers do it, where they're holding up, oh, well, I got this person now, and here's the light. And the light's like that big, and it's like that thick. What? And that's why I think it's that same thing. It's that 5G. Um, you know, it's and that leads me again to make me wonder, why, other than Agenda 2030, if you've ever heard of that, I've looked into it. I just don't dig too much into these subjects because I don't like to get into that thought process of, oh, it's bad. Because, again, guys, none of us are promised the next moment. Um, I love each and every one of you, and I hope to be here to broadcast tomorrow and the next day. But, again, I'm not guaranteed the next moment, and I understand that. That's why I try to live my moments the best I can with whatever I have and be appreciative of everything that I have. May not be much, but I'm happy. I'm here. I'm able to wake up. I'm able to get up. I'm able to walk. I'm able to, eat. I'm able to, go outside if I want to. I'm able to do a lot of things that I know a lot of people out there can't. And that's what I'm thankful for. I know with Thanksgiving coming up, this made me think about it a little bit more. For those of us that celebrate it here in the U.S. at least. Um, you know, it's one of those things where I think about that a lot. I think about how thankful I am. How thankful I am that I have 99 subscribers. That blew my mind right there. Uh, I'm thankful that I have such kind people like you guys that are sending me messages and that come in here. I mean, guys, you guys make my day every time. Every time I see you guys in chats and I chat to each and every one of you and I talk to you guys have no idea how much it makes my day. Because I don't talk to too many people. I spend a lot of time by myself. Well, if I'm not by myself, then obviously Mrs. Kryptonian's here and we together will spend time. But, it was one of those things that as I thought about it, I started thinking about just the similarities between some of these movies I've seen. And I appreciate that, Stonebender. Your channel's good too, man. All you guys got great channels. I haven't seen one. And well, I take it back. If I've seen channels I don't like, I just don't watch them anymore. I quit watching a lot of these bigger channels that were just fear mongering because I don't want fear. It's not about the fear, in my opinion. Fear is a lie, and fear is always going to be a lie because it's just a misunderstanding. If you don't understand it, figure it out. Learn more about the situation because at least then that takes away confusion. I've never been a big fan or promotion of any type of fear. Yeah, I know. But I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your insight, all your guys' insight. Um, just like with that last video that I did about the actor who played Superman, that was a personal big Mandela for me. Um, I was actually surprised that so many people were with me on that one. I thought I was going to be a little bit more alone. And the backstory behind that more so was just the fact that I was so into it and I learned so much um, about the character because of the fact that it was, all based off that little shampoo bottle from 1980 from one of the only few gifts that my father gave me. So when I stumbled across and seen that they had all of a sudden said this person, I was, whoa, no, something's not right. And to Google it and then ask Google that same question and get George Reeves, but then to find out that if you read it, in my video a little bit further, it was his name's in there, but yeah, it's not really up there, and it didn't make sense. If it was like if this has always been the case, why am I now just hearing about this? Why hadn't I not stumbled across this before? And trust me, I my free time when I'm down, if I'm not looking at things that are Mandela or looking at all the other things that are taking place in the world, then that's what I spend my time doing is checking out stuff on Superman or other comic type of characters and books because that's just who I am. That's what I like to do. Um, and it was just shocking to know that I wasn't alone. That a lot of other people saw the same thing I was seeing with this and didn't know who this person was. And it's like, how is it this guy was supposedly an actor that did this for so long, but yet no one heard of him? Um, again, and again, that leads me to wonder, uh, as far as back to the idea that with what they're spraying or doing with us with chemtrails. And guys, I see it every day. I mean, I walk outside. I mean, like today so far, I hadn't really looked outside because it's actually a little cold here in Florida for a change. We actually got down into the 60s, first time since March. So it was actually 47 this morning, which I was just so thankful for that too, that I was actually able to feel cool for once. Um, uh-oh. And of course, I don't know why, but I think it's because my rant about technology now it's just wanting to constantly play games with me. Hang on. There we go. Let me get this set up here real quick. My phone just yelled at me that it was going to die. So it started to go dark. There we go. You know, it, and again, I apologize, guys. Yeah, right. I remember three types of clouds: Sirius, Stratus, and um, that's what I remember in science class or being told and learning about it. You look it up now, there's like what, five, six, seven types of clouds that don't make sense. It was like, when did this happen? That those are one of the odd things to me, especially with the clouds. They do seem closer too, which is a little odd here. I mean, when I was living in Colorado, I understood I was a mile above sea level, so that made sense. But to be back here and to kind of sit here and, when I go outside and look up in the sky and see the clouds literally look like, I mean, they're a lot closer. It just doesn't make sense to me at all. And then, again, then there's the sun. I know about that. That's a whole nother subject. I try not to get too deep into it because at the end of the day, I really don't know. Obviously, I'm one guy. I have no idea if Earth's round or flat. It could be cubed. Um, from our birth Earth. I'll have to remember that birth Earth. Um, did you guys happen to hear, by the way, that there's actually a convention of flat Earth going on in Denver, Colorado? I got some notifications about that. That they're actually having a big convention about it out there, which was a little odd. Um, I know I was going to put out a video, I just hadn't yet, and part of it was because I've just been running into some other issues with some other things. But uh, if you hadn't heard, in Antarctica, they were talking about a ghost particle. Um, it's weird because what I read about this ghost particle was that it was a neutrino that they're trying to track. And they actually did track it all the way back to the supermassive black hole, Sagittarius A. And I found that very interesting only because, I did a video about that. And my theory that maybe CERN opened a black hole. And maybe that's why everything's different. Where, now, as we remember being in Sagittarius, the Sagittarius arm of the galaxy, and now we're in the Orion Spur, but yet they all of a sudden named the super black hole that's in the near the center of the galaxy, and they call it Sagittarius A. I don't know, with the little asterisk sign. Well, the new studies now about this ghost particle is that they're turning around and actually tracked it back to Sagittarius A. Why? Why? There's a lot of weird stuff going on in Antarctica. I know. I believe there was another YouTuber that just put a video out about the ice underneath it is heating up for mysterious reasons. And yeah, I agree, Rainbow Warrior. They're keeping a lot of stuff from us. On a give, I know that. But it's just really odd that, when I was digging around and looking at this ghost particle, as far as in Google, I was finding a lot of articles about it. I was even looking at how these articles were talking about, the way they're testing, this ice cubes test. And then it got me to think about some things. And it was like, we've been seeing, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Carla, they were talking about that they were seeing all types of it's apparently heating up. But what got me to even think more about the way they're doing some of these tests is I'm wondering if these testing that they're doing is that's causing some issues. I know they're using like an ice cube test to check things out, and then it was really odd that if you guys remember that article about the ice sheets that broke off into like a complete square 90-degree angles. And then if you think about some of these clouds we've been seeing that have been in like squares and that, it made me all think, it was just that moment that I had that thought, what if these tests they're doing is causing physical reality to act differently? What if it was because of this test and because they're looking for these neutrinos these neutrinos that are ghost particle in the system, and now we're getting weird squares things like square clouds or square ice that's breaking off. Well, it could be Stonebender. I'm sorry, I was reading your comment. It could be. I mean, for all I think, but if you guys get a chance to check it out, look up Cube Earth Society. Besides flat Earth and round Earth, there are people out there that believe we're on a cube now. Which to me, with the flat Earth, if it was a cube, I don't know. Obviously, I have no idea what we're on. I can only go by, to my logic, we'd be on my logical side says with a sphere. Have I seen evidence that points to flat? Well, yeah, I totally understand that. But some of those evidence, like when they say on a plane, well, you're looking in the horizon and it's flat. Well, yeah, you're only so far up. That's even if you are 30,000 feet, like they claim, or 40,000, what is it, whatever it is. I don't know. I haven't flown since I was 19. I'm 42 now, so I haven't been in a plane in some time. Thanks. Well, not really ahead of the curve. Just it was just things I came across. I started thinking about a lot of these square clouds and a lot of these the square clouds, and then of course the square ice sheets coming off in Antarctica. Um, it made me think a little bit more about it. And then there's even like I stumbled across one picture of uh, pyrite fake fool's gold that was actually in complete cube. And I guess my thought was, as you know, like I said before in another video, I was discussing about the idea of alternate realities. I guess my thought was, if they did destroy or we died in 2012 and now we're in an alternate reality, what would be a big difference? And I guess the big one would be if in our original reality circles or in spears were in the original reality, then what would be the next thing that would happen if that wasn't around anymore? And I guess my thought was cubes. And I just as I was digging, I started finding some things, and it was like, oh man, I should talk about this, and I kind of put it off. I haven't, you know, getting caught up. I didn't want to throw it out there. I was going to, but whatever. It is what it is, guys. Sorry. Actually, what had happened was, the training camp on Earth is huge. Yeah, that's true, Dominic. Um, what actually ended up happening, ship after 2012. Yeah, well, that's true. But what put that, and I'm going to get into that too, Carla, here in a minute. But what put it off the back on the back burner was actually when I ran across the Allen, Mr. Allen, being Superman. That I was like, I had to get that out first. Um, Now, Carla, you mentioned as far as the red Earth shrinking. I know Loans talked about it too. What I wrote in the comments that day, where he addressed it and he said he liked my way of thinking, um, was that what if CERN created those teeny black holes, they combined, they formed one, and it's sucking in. My thought was like a slow leak, that maybe things are getting smaller and smaller on a more slower scale because of that. Um, that was my thought behind that. What if we're not only in another reality now, and the reason why Earth's getting smaller is because it's still sucking it in. I mean, if you think about like a drain, if you got like the water up top and you make a small hole in the bottom, yeah, we'll grab duct tape, but not. But I mean, that was the thought process behind that. When he was talking about how it was getting smaller, the first thing that came to my mind was, what if it's still pulling things in? What, and then maybe that's why they're looking at this ghost particle and they're following it back, and they're doing all this stuff because they're trying to get an understanding of how to stop it. Maybe they can't stop it. I mean, obviously, if this was going on, they'd never tell us. They'd never say us. It's like they don't tell us anything until it's one of those points that it finally happens. I mean, look, now I just recently saw on the news that they were talking about in Ireland about the pilots seeing UFOs in the sky. And that, look how long it took for them to even do that. I mean, it's gotten to the point now, none of them. Yeah, I agree. I don't know why we don't have more, even though they claim that they do. Um, but to get back to what I was saying, I mean, look how how they're not even really trying to hide things like they used to. I mean, these pilots came out and said it. It hit the news, the mainstream media, and of course, I don't really watch mainstream media, guys. I'm usually looking at other things left and right. Oh wow, no, I remember that. Could be. That's a good theory. I don't know. I mean, but if you look it up, it's not just Antarctica. They got like something in England or Germany, I think it was, that showed like a giant weird metal contraption. Um, that could be why they're chasing the ghost particles. They're trying to figure out a way to stop it because maybe it's getting because obviously things are getting crazier. Um, was it a bomb, Carla? I don't quite remember the 2009. Well, obviously, I mean, I'm here in Orlando, Florida, guys. I see rockets go up all the time. Um, they, in fact, tell you guys a quick story. There was one night, this is like, I'd say about 7 years ago. The wife and I were sitting on our back porch at my grandparents' house, real late, early in the morning, almost like 3, 4 o'clock. We'd been up all night, just kind of hanging out, and the sky all of a sudden lit up. It's like we were just sitting in the dark talking. We had a little candle going, and then we see this bright light. So we both look, and it's a rocket going up into the space. I checked the news, I checked everywhere, and there was no mention whatsoever of this rocket going up. This was definitely something that was taking place in the middle. I mean, literally like 3, 4 in the morning. It was crazy. I just couldn't believe that there was no, because normally here when they send up rockets or space shuttles or anything else, there's a ton of coverage on it. It was very odd, and you know, no, I haven't Stonebender, but I definitely will check it out. When I go back and review it, I'll definitely look it up and see what it's about. I haven't read that one at all, but okay. Um, it was crazy to see that right there was more of an indication. Like I told my wife that they're not going to tell us everything. They never will. They don't want us to know. They want to keep us in the dark, which sucks. I hate it. But again, what can we do about it? I'm more open to suggestions, but like everybody, we all got lives to live and we got things to do. And I guess as long as things keep functioning, the majority of people are not going to wake up. You guys know that. I feel one day they will. To a new Dominic Frosty. So you've seen Alice then, the chat bot. I stumbled across that some years back. If you guys haven't seen that, if you type in the word A.L.I.C.E, you come across this weird AI chatbot, and it was odd. It was odd when I came across it some years back. It was even more messed up was it actually started trying to contact me. I had to actually change my whole entire IP address. Um, I also got on here to just say hi because obviously I know what's going on with Scarab. I don't know if he's going to have his Freaky Friday on tonight to be able to chat with you all. And you guys, you know how I do it. I'm sorry, I try. Yeah, I agree, Frosty. It could be. And I've always believed that from day one. Terminator on that. The more we start giving technology freedom, the more you're just opening up doors and pathways to other things. I've been a firm believer of that since day one, since technology started to appear. I mean, down to Atari and just the level of advancements we made. There was even a while, guys, I actually went to ITT Tech before they went under to get my bachelor's in computer science. And Yeah, but when I was studying for my bachelor's in computer science, they it was just phenomenal when you look at the 90s, how fast processors worked. I don't know if you guys know or not, but Intel actually started out as for traffic lights. They're the first ones to make the stoplight as far as the automated traffic light. And from there, it's all of a sudden now where we're at today with the microprocessors. And then, of course, we got the D Wave and the quantum computers. And I kind of understand that a little bit more. How it works is basically being in both the ones and the zeros open at the same state. I just don't quite get the purpose. I mean, I understand as far as, I guess you should say, as far as computing, but I mean, with where we're at today with technology, it doesn't make sense why it needs to be. No, I had not talked to him, Carla. Yeah, I agree, Dominic. No, Carla, I haven't spoken to him. Unfortunately, we don't. Besides me talking to him on the Freaky Fridays, we don't really talk outside of that. I sent him an email. I just haven't heard back as far as what's been going on. But yeah, Frosty, I agree. A lot of people, are going to be misguided. Hey, honey Anna Maya, I thank you so much for stopping in and saying hi. I hope you're doing good wherever you're at. You guys seen her video, by the way, with the crazy thing in the sky? She got some good UFO stuff, man. That stuff was nuts. I saw something similar like that, but I didn't have my phone with me that day to take a video course. Anytime I run across really interesting stuff, I always tend to leave my phone at home because, for one, I'm actually, when I'm with my wife, she's got her phone, so I kind of feel like, well, if we're together, why do I need to carry mine on me? But to get back to what I was saying about the whole quantum computer things, I just don't grasp why. Why are they doing it? Other than they want to manipulate it. It's just it doesn't make sense. You know? I mean, with what can you possibly compute or need to figure out that it requires a machine, first of all, as big as it is, and then second of all, to work that way. Yeah, Dominic, you can definitely. Hey, you want to? I told you I have no problem with it. Um, you want to make a painting of it? By all means, I'd love to see it. Always, honey, Anna, always power to the community. Yeah, Dominic, go ahead, man. If you want, send me. I thought I sent it to you, but if I didn't, send me an email at tellcrypto@gmail.com. And that's all together one word, which would be tellkrypto@gmail.com. Let me see if I can put it in here. I don't think so. Not with my functions on this. Yeah, no, it won't let me do it. By all means, man, I'd love to see it. Especially that symbol because that's my symbol. That's definitely belongs to me. Oh yeah, no, I'd appreciate it, man. I'd love to be able to display your work on here, especially that. I love the way your paintings. You and Pre are the two I've noticed that are good. I mean, I used to be like, I don't know if you guys could see. Sure, it is Tell Crypto, TELLKRYPTO @gmail.com. It's also, if you look in my description about me, I put it in there as well. But I want to show you guys, if you see my shirt here, my son did this for me. So I wear it every now and then. And let me know if you got it. If not, shoot me an email, Dominic, so at least now I know you got it, and then I'll kick it over to you if you haven't received it yet or got it. Yeah, for sure. No problem, man. I got no issue with it. Like I said, it's mine, so it only means my name is all it says in the symbol. Actually, I think it means faith is what I recall. If I recall, it's been so long since I messed with it. I've played with it a little bit here and there. In fact, shout out to OP3 Crimson. He was the one that actually he turned around and was able to do some things for me. And yeah, I sent it over to him and asked him, can he do it? Put my name, the Kryptonian, in Krypton lettering, and he was able to kick it back. So, and I agree, Carla. I love this community too very much. But you know, this. I mean, guys, we gotta stick together, man. You know, especially with the holidays coming up. I know, and you guys already know my situation. You know, it's just her and I here. I mean, my family's here, but they quit talking to me, especially after I started talking more about the way the world really is working. Um, 40 minutes. Oh, okay. Well, all right. I'm looking forward to it, honey and Amaya. Who knows? I can tell you right now, I've been having issues too. I had a bunch of issues trying to do another live stream before I jumped on here on my phone and just said, "The heck with it, I'll just talk to everybody." Because I was trying to show some articles of some things that I was going to talk about. No problem. See, like right now, even while I'm streaming with you guys, um, my phone wants to keep constantly fighting me about low battery, and it's one of those. I know it was charged. I had it charged for literally an hour before I even jumped on here, but yet it keeps flashing back and forth, wanting to die. Like like I don't know if any of you guys were in Lone Stream the other night, where the other day, I think it was 2 days ago, where he was in the middle of discussing, and then all of a sudden it went black. All it said was Google. So there's some weird things going on with it, and I think honestly, I believe it has to do with anytime we discuss topics that might be a little, risque. I don't know. Um, yeah, and like you were saying about the family, I think it was one of you guys said it to me. I apologize because it pops up and it disappears. Um, yeah, it is, isn't it, honey? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Stonebender, you said about the family. Um, it sucks, Stone. Big time, it sucks. Uh, my family was always. I never grew up that way. My grandparents and my father's side of the family was very. We were very close knit, very tight. It seemed like the moment my grandfather passed away, it all went south. Um, it just, especially with the holidays coming up, guys, you know how it is. Everyone's this is supposed to be a time where you're supposed to be getting together with family. You're supposed to be celebrating the love all the way around. And yet, you know, here my wife and I have been this whole time. And, I got half of them literally live here in the city. It's not like, I understand that people are far away and he can't come, fine. But when you live 5 miles away from me and yet I don't hear, you can't call me. You can't just say, hey, how's it going? I call them all the time. And they'll talk to me a little bit, then they hang up. And I'm treated like that special child. Like, Crib's crazy. Yeah, okay, he's probably going to tell us about something else that ain't quite right. Well, again, I'm trying to wake you up. I'm trying to get you to understand that this world is not what it's supposed to, what it seems. And look, see, right now, even while I'm saying it, even while I'm sitting there trying to say it, every time I say this thing and I bring that up, then all of a sudden, bam, I get a little message on there that says low battery. Even though my battery right now is changing, it's charging 100%. I got it in the charger. So that tells me right there that something's trying to stop me from saying things, certain things that maybe they don't want me to say. It's like it seems like every time I mention the word conspiracy or waking up, then that's when all of a sudden I got low battery. But you know, you guys, we got to be there for one another. If we're not, what's the point? What's the point in all of it? I try my best, and I apologize, guys, if I don't get to your videos. I try to watch your videos. I might not comment sometimes, only because, well, I try to say a comment, but it's just because I might not have anything to comment. I might watch it and think, oh, okay, that's great, but I apologize if I haven't responded to you or you didn't know, because I do watch a lot of yours, all you guys, to see what you guys are talking about. Only because, again, it's interesting. It's foreign. I'm like, yeah, it could be. I haven't dismissed that idea. 100%, I haven't dismissed that idea that it could be test. It could be we blew up and woke up. Um, I don't know. There's a lot of theories that come through my head that I wonder about. I wonder, is it time travel? Because it seems weird that a lot of things are coming up a certain way from other countries. When Lone brought up, as far as like the Roman stuff and the mud floods, it made me think about that. And neither is mine. Mine is the same way. But when he brought that up, it made me think about some things. I considered the idea of what if someone in the past went back and they showed up at a wrong spot. Now, somebody from the past has control of this technology. What would they do with it? These are the things that rattle my head. You lost a year in 2016. How'd you do that? I don't know. I lose years. I lose days. There's times I don't know what happened from one day to the next. Um, well, I did see your video, Carla, about Scarab's situation. And that was nice too, by the way. That was cool that you did that. Because it sucks that he's going through that stuff right now, that he's feeling that way, because trust me, I've been there 100%. I've dealt with it. I gave him, as a matter of fact, mine, at least a tip to try to see if it would help him, because it's helped me a few times as far as how I deal with it. But even if you don't have content, that's fine. If you don't have content, I still subscribe to you guys. I try. If I haven't yet, let me know, and I will make sure I fix that. Gotcha. Wow. Bye, Maria. I thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a good day. And a great weekend, too. You're not going to be missing much. I'm already going on here for 58 minutes. I'm about to probably bring it to a close. I'm not going to ramble on too much longer. Yeah, that is actually honey and I'm interested in learning more about that. You got to definitely do a video or talk about that. Does any of you guys feel like the people around you are not quite who they were? Speaking of that, Carla, I just saw a video was posted here recently about someone said that the Pope changed the Lord's Prayer. I think I don't remember the name of the young lady. She was on there talking about it today. I saw it on the Mandela Researchers group. It was posted about it. I didn't quite dig into it, because to me, I don't care what they try to change. I'm going to say the Lord's Prayer the way I was taught and raised at that time. Okay, Dom. Yeah, so you have seen that. I know I'm jumping all over the place. Uh, I and that's what makes me wonder about where we're at and what's going on. Is people around me seem like I've known them, but they're different. Like they're not quite the person I remember. Um, and that's I'm done the same, Dom. It's been I've disconnected from a lot of people because of that. Honey, and I appreciate that. You're all we have. You guys are all I have, really. I mean, besides the wife. Other than that, I don't talk to anyone else. I mean, I spend more time on here talking to you guys than I actually talk to what used to be my friends. Um, I just that's what I've noticed lately. I've noticed that certain people that I knew or thought I knew were um, not quite who they are. Like they're close, but they don't seem to notice certain things. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's a good point, Dominic. Because Job's one of my favorite books. Because I know the one thing about that I love above all else is usually when everyone starts complaining about me to me about a problem, that's the first thing I throw up is Job. That's the only thing I know in my heart is that no matter no matter how rough or tough my life seems, I appreciate that. And I'm glad you all are my friends, believe it or not. I'm glad all of you guys. I love each and every one of you. For the fact that I could get on here and talk, and that we all have things we can relate to. Um, but like I was saying about Job, anytime someone says something to me that's kind of, oh, I'm going through this and that, all right, yeah, it is. But remember, hey, Job had it worse because obviously he had everything and he lost it all, and you know, yeah, I agree, Carla. They're all detached. It's saddening. It saddens me a lot when I see how detached a lot of this world is. But um, I'm gonna go ahead and close it up, guys. It's already been an hour. I appreciate you all coming by and checking me out and listening, and definitely appreciate the comments. And I love you guys a lot. And hopefully, I'll get on here again soon and talk. I know, again, I'm kind of sporadic about it because A, I'm dealing with a stupid system. And then B, it's just one of those, if I got a lot to say, I'll say it. But, not, then I'll either see you guys in the chat, talk to you guys there, or, I'm around. And hopefully it's for the reason that we can either wake people up, Honey and Amelia, or we can, at least leave messages. Wow, okay. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down because I know it's getting here. And besides, Mrs. is about to call me soon on here anyway. So let me go ahead and wrap it up. And I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. If I don't see you guys tonight, or if Scarab doesn't do his chat, then I might throw one up maybe this weekend. So, all right. Take care of yourselves. Love y'all. Bye.